question came up this week from a customer asking if I'm printing on an optically clear film for film positives, how would I make a richer black? It's a great question. Now, for film positives, I've used a couple products. It's a little misty in my mind, but I've used a SIL optically clear film, and I've used a Magic IntelliCoat film. I've also used films that are a little more translucent, almost kind of a frosted look for film positives, which have also worked very effectively. You can choose the film. If it's highly aqueous ink receptive, it should be able to hold a drop size that's sufficient for most screen printing, per se. Now, how do you do that? When I print anything on a latex printer, I have pure hues turned on for the black ink. So if I'm doing a sample, for example, and you see text on it, the text is done as a vector. It's in a Gracol workflow. Not that that matters for black, but it's a Gracol workflow CMYK. Almost all of my vectors are going to be assigned CMYK Gracol workflow, and the black, for example, in Onyx, is set for pure hues. Now, whether you choose to turn on cyan, yellow, or magenta for pure hues is up to you. In some cases, that's effective, because it will allow you to print a nice pure yellow. It's not always the best choice, and some people prefer to leave that off, and some people turn it on. For some jobs, I might turn it on. But I almost always have black turned to pure hue. That's done in the Edit Quick Sets, and then I go to the printer, and then it's under Custom Profiles, and once you open that up, you'll see RGB and CMYK. And then you'll see like what looks to be a little like a color pattern on the right-hand side. Click the color pattern. That will open up the dialog where you can turn on pure hues. That's in Onyx, for example. It's located in a slightly different place in Caldera, and you can have it turn black, for automatically print pure hues. Also, SAI Flexi has the same capacity within its software. Each of them does the same thing. It's in a different location. If you have any questions, reach out to your RIP manufacturer and give them a quick call. It's a very simple direction. You can find it in there. What you're doing with pure hues is if you build the file, like black, for example, all of my black is built 000 100 gives me a pure black, because when the RIP software gets that file, it says, I'm not going to use the ICC profile because it's 000 and he has pure hues for black turned on. I'm going to use the black channel only. I'm only going to use black ink to generate this color. And in doing so, I get a deeper, crisper, sharper black, and I don't have any possibility of other colors adding more ink than is necessary. I just want 100% black. I want the maximum density from that single channel. That's how I tend to print all of my text, most of which is black. And I also tend to do the same thing if I'm printing solid black objects, like let's say a vehicle wrap, and it's got a big black part of it. I'll just print that with solid black. The file will come in as a vector, and it's going to come in as a CMYK. Now, if you build an RGB, remember that you have to go into the pure hues and turn that on for RGB. For me, my CMYK workflow is always a Gracol workflow, and anything that I'm using generally in Illustrator is going to be done with a Gracol CMYK workspace. I may bring in RGB raster files and incorporate them into the PDF, so the PDF will have RGB raster components, but my vector stuff is always being done in a Gracol workspace in Illustrator. So when the file lands to the RIP says, this is a vector, this is CMYK, apply these pure hues. I think you'll get better results printing a solid black doing that than you would trying a lot of other variations. That has been my personal experience, and that's how I send over my solid black images, especially anything that's in a text or a vector. Right? That applies to a lot more than just optically clear films, but understanding what you're trying to do with optically clear films, I think this is probably your best solution. If you have any questions, reach out to your RIP manufacturer. They'll walk you through it. It's a very easy place to find it if you have any trouble, but just a little intuition, a little searching, you'll find the pure hues in each of the separate softwares that I referenced.